One.
Roll call.
Councilmember Bowman.
Present.
Councilmember Farrelletto.
Here.
Councilmember Gullumbeck.
Here.
Councilmember Noakowski.
Here.
Council President Pridgen.
Aki.
Majority Leader Rivera.
Present.
President Pro Tem Scanlon.
Present.
Councilmember Wingo. Councilmember Wyatt.
Here.
Quorum is present.
Let's stand for the pledge. At this time, our chaplain will come to introduce our guest imam.
Good afternoon. I wanted to welcome, as a guest of Councilmember Noakowski, during Ramadan and its celebration, Imam Qayyum to the chambers today.
So Sahid has done a good job of trying to train me and decode all these words for me. So he has told me to properly say Assalamu alaikum to welcome you into the chambers. And we are excited to have Mohammed Abdul Qayyum to open up the meeting. He is the Imam at 995 Fillmore Avenue, who has achieved the title of Hafiz, a distinction that is given to Muslims who have memorized the entire Quran. Wow. Mohammed has a degree in Islamic science, which is similar to a master's degree in theology, and it was important for me to bring an imam here during the observance of Ramadan, because it's important that as the city of Buffalo diversifies and changes, these chambers also reflect that as well, and anything less would be disrespectful to the people in the city of Buffalo. So I'd like to welcome the imam in my district to open up these chambers with the prayer.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is the Islamic way of greeting someone. It means peace and mercy of God be on you. So I first of all, I thank all of you, especially my district council, for inviting me here, giving me a chance to share with you the interesting part of very important and significant part of Islam. So to begin with, I will recite a few verses from the Holy Book Quran related to fasting, inshallah now. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون صدق الله العظيم. Allah, the God, is saying that, O those who believe, fast has been prescribed upon you as it was prescribed and obligatory upon those nations before you. So it's a few days, so those of you are able to fast, they should fast, and those from you are not able to fast due to sickness or due to your traveling, then they should give compensation for that. And if you fast, it's always better for you. So dear respected council members, now I will be sharing with you a few important things related to the month of Ramadan and the main special acts and deeds of month of Ramadan. So Ramadan, as you all know, it's the 9th month of Islamic lunar calendar. A foundation pillar of practicing Islam is following the month of Ramadan. the Ramadan is such a great month that's in this month, the God has revealed the holy book of Islam, Quran, entirely. That's why this month is called also month of Ramadan. As Allah says in the Quran, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن, the month of Ramadan in which the Quran was revealed. So if I wanted to mention very briefly about Ramadan, the word linguistically, in Arabic language, it means to burn. It means to burn. And in terminology, Ramadan is a name of a month in which all the Muslims are obliged to fast from the sunset till sunrise, from the sunrise till the sunset. And during this time, they are not allowed to do three things. They are supposed to abstain from three things. Number one, from eating. Number two, from drinking. Number three, from abstaining from any sexual intimacy. So these are the three things that a Muslim is obliged to not to do from the sunrise till sunset. So as I mentioned in the beginning, that Ramadan linguistically it means to burn. So why Ramadan is named as Ramadan? The main purpose is that in Ramadan, a person only out of fear and the God consciousness, he lives and he abstains from eating, drinking, and having sexual relationship, even though in other time it is permissible for him to do all these kind of actions. So that God is teaching us, and God is telling us to have a practice for a 29 to 30 days period of time, so that we could always have the God consciousness in our mind. And in this month of Ramadan, there are so many virtues. One of them is that the God gives the reward in multiple folds. It mentioned in the narration from our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he says, if someone fasts, if someone does any optional deeds, righteous deed in this Ramadan, in this month, the God will reward him like he has completed an obligation on him. And if someone completes an obligation act, he gets the reward as of 70 times more, 70 times fold. So this month of Ramadan is a month of reward, and this month of Ramadan is the month for us, for the Muslims, and for entire humanity to erase their sin, to have their all sins forgiven. That is why the month of Ramadan is called Ramadan, because it burns out the sins and all the shortcomings of the believers. This is why Ramadan is. And what is the Ramadan? What is the main purpose? I mentioned already, but I'm mentioning again, as the God says in the Quran, that Ramadan fasting has been prescribed on you as it was prescribed in the nations before you. Why? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. So may you acquire taqwa. What is taqwa? Taqwa means God-fearing, God consciousness. That a person, when he has in his heart God-fearing and God consciousness, he will never do anything wrong. Every time he is about to do something wrong, he will think, he will recall, he will remember that the God is watching me, and I will be held accountable if I do something wrong. So this month of Ramadan is basically to have a spiritual connection with the God, and to earn and to achieve and to get to acquire the fear and the consciousness of God in other times, so that the Muslims and the humans and mankind stays away from sinning, it stays away from crime, and the peace and humanity is established in this world. In many other verses, many other narrations from our beloved Prophet, this is what we understand, and this is what is the purpose of month of Ramadan, and this is how, by abstaining from those three things, a Muslim observe the fast during this entire month of Ramadan, which is the period of 29 to 30 days. This is the month of Ramadan. And after this Ramadan comes a great day, as I hope most of you, all of you know, that the God says that this fasting, a believer, when he fasts, there is a true reward for him. One is every day when he fasts, he abstains from these three things, from the sunrise to sunset. When the sunset, the dawn, the breaking of fast comes, then it's a happiness for him. He gets to eat. At the end of this month finishes, there comes a great happy day, a holiday, the days of celebration, the day of joy and happiness, the day of Eid. So I would like to end my talk and my speech with this wish to all of you, happy Eid day, Eid Mubarak. Our Eid will be most likely either Friday or Saturday. I invite you all to come to Muslim mosque and celebrate Eid with us. And again, thank you all for inviting me and giving me a chance to share with you some knowledge and some information about this great month of Ramadan. And happy Eid holiday and Eid Mubarak. Thank you all.
Thank you, Imam. We appreciate you so much, and thank you for educating not only the council, but to the city of Buffalo. Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Council members, memorials. Councilmember Columbus.
Thank you, Mr. President. You're okay? Janine Cook, the mother of Bob Kreutinger, passed away. Bob, we all know Bob from his work in the 311 Call-in Resolution Center. She's going to be very, very sorely missed by Bob and the rest of the family. Longtime Riverside resident Ivy Whitten passed away this past week, joining his wife who passed away a few months ago. They were my former customers on Beatrice Street from when I was a paper boy. They left several children behind in the Riverside and West Turtle neighborhood. And last but certainly not least, Andrew Smith, the owner of Kenmore Renters on Kenmore Avenue, and I think it's Myron Street. He is the brother of Evelyn Vossler from my office. And although he's just outside of the North District, he's going to be very, very sorely missed by his friends in North Buffalo and the Kenmore community and St. Paul's Church.
Councilmember White.
Thank you, Council President. I want to acknowledge the homegoing of Mother Marion Hudson, who you funeralized on yesterday. Just wanted to say a few words about her and her family and pray for them. Ms. Hudson passed of Alzheimer's and dementia, and she took care of my wife's grandmother, when she had Alzheimer's and dementia. She was so well respected. I grew up in the Central Park District, and you saw so many Central Park boys there speaking about her and speaking about who she was and what she did for them. And so I just wanted to honor her because she was a beautiful soul. My daughter loved Mrs. Hudson, but you did a wonderful job in sending her home the right way with respect and just honoring her neatness and just her caring for and love of God. And just pray for the family. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Scanlon.
Thank you, Council President. Last week, South Buffalo, the Buffalo Police Department, and this community suffered another heartbreaking loss with the passing of Brian Connors at the age of 38. Brian is the son of James and Colleen Connors and the sister of Marie Connors. Brian attended St. Martin's School, Bishop Timon High School, Canisius College. He found his calling professionally 15 years ago as a Buffalo police officer, and after displaying an incredible work ethic and tremendous compassion for this community, he rose to the rank of detective. I originally met Brian through his cousins who lived around the corner from my childhood home, and although we weren't exceptionally close, I really can't remember a time when his name wasn't a familiar one to me. As far back as I can remember, I can recall knowing Brian Connors, and I don't say that to try and paint myself as some dear, dear friend, but rather to point out how many people Brian had an impact on. I would see him often, and we'd always have a very sincere, engaging conversation and share quite a bit of laughs over the years. He was one of those people whose sincerity and genuine concern or interest in what you were saying or what was going on in your life was very evident whenever you spoke to him or came across him. In the past week or so, I can't tell you how many people that I've spoken to from within different age groups, different parts of the city, different backgrounds, all had the exact same incredibly nice things to say about Brian. And it's very evident that he left a little bit of himself with each person that he came in contact with. So Brian is going to be incredibly missed, and I ask that we please keep in our thoughts his parents, James and Colleen, his sister Marie, and his extensive family and friends.
Thank you, sir. Any others? I echo the No, I'm sorry. Councilman Farrell, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Want to keep the family of Michael Steffen, who works in the clerk's office, in our prayers. His wife, Autumn Steffen, passed last week, leaving behind 3 beautiful children. Also, just want to echo the sentiments that Councilmember Scanlon had about Brian Connors, police officer for 15 years, great guy. He had many friends of all ages from all parts of the city, and he had a lot of family and friends that loved him, and he will be sorely missed.
I echo the words of Councilmember Wyatt for Marion Hudson. He said it all. So I will say she was a community member, always out in the street, cared about her neighborhood. And in the same week, we lost another block club member from the church who was a community member, Ruth White. Same thing all the way up until she couldn't walk the streets anymore. She would be walking down her streets in the Maston district, and we will funeralize her, I believe, this weekend. But to them and all of whose names have been called, and to any person who has given their life for the freedom of our country or the freedom of other countries, we pause in these chambers for a moment of silence. And thank you to all for your patience. We have a special presentation for Autism Awareness Month by Council Member Brian J. Bowman.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was going to do this because I'm taller. Good afternoon, everyone. April is Autism Awareness Month, and we are joined by Debbie Cordone, fantastic friends of Western New York, and my colleagues and I on the council would like to present this proclamation and express our sincere appreciation for the incredible work of fantastic friends in Western New York. For many years, this nonprofit organization has been an unwavering source of support, care, and joy for individuals and families impacted by autism throughout Western New York. Their selfless commitment and dedication exemplify the very best of our community, where families can count on supportive networks that provide both important care and welcomed moments of happiness. Through their tireless efforts, Fantastic Friends of Western New York is raising awareness and promoting acceptance, understanding, and inclusion of individuals with autism in our communities. As we mark Autism Awareness Month in April, we're honored to recognize Debbie Cordone and Fantastic Friends of Western New York for their dedication and positive impact on the lives of so many in our community. And Debbie, if you'd like to say a couple words.
Hello, I'd just like to thank you all for this beautiful award or proclamation. Just a few things about autism and Down syndrome, developmental disabilities in general. What we have found that it's easier for people to accept a child who is misbehaving. As you become a teenager or an adult and you are having some behaviors, it is less acceptable. So when they come to us, they are expected to be who they are. They are accepted just as they are. And, so in this age category, teens through adults, there are less opportunities, again, because children are more acceptable to be misbehaving or acting awkwardly. So our focus is on this population. We're working with an architect to expand our current facility in Cheektowaga, and then once that is done, we get everything there perfected. We are looking to branch out with satellites within the community, the city, the rural areas, to make things more accessible to others. But always remember, please don't judge anyone. You never know what they're going through, and just be accepting of everyone. And thank you again.
All right. Great. Well deserved. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. All right, council members, you have the late files. I'm sorry, on a motion by Ms. Revere, second by Ms. Scanlon, the meetings of stated meeting held on April 4th, 2023 are approved. Council members, you have the late files before you. Are there any objections to any of the late files? Seeing no objections to any of the late files, we will hear the entire agenda that is before us, and not taking away your right to pause the meeting if you need to review any of the items. Majority Leader, are we taking anything out of order?
Mr. Chair, motion to take item 53 from resolutions out of order.
Second by Councilmember Farrelletto.
Item number 53, discharge items 23-333, 23-424, and 23-425 from Legislation Committee.
Motion to adopt the discharge.
Motion to adopt the discharge, second by Councilmember Bowman. Going from the top.
Item number 1, amend report of sale 205 Landon.
Motion to approve.
Second by Councilmember Noakowski.
Item number 2, establish the Lower Black Rock Historic District.
Motion to send to legislation.
Second by Councilmember Golombek, who has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe that I have this correct. I just want to verify with Corporation Counsel. I believe that on April 25th, legislation will determine when the public hearing is for this. And then on most likely May 9th, at legislation will be the public hearing. And then on May 16th could be the vote for this. I just want to verify that I'm correct.
Assistant Corp Counsel Karen Gordon. Essentially, generally, 10 days after this item has been sent to Ledge, which means it will be at Ledge at May 25th, as you correctly stated, and we have to give the public 10 days notice. So wherever that 10 days notice take us out sometime in early May, that's when we probably would have the public hearing, and then essentially following that, the full council would vote on it.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure that residents knew that for the record, because this has been a little bit controversial in the neighborhood. I'm supportive of it. I think there's a couple of minor tweaks that we have to make, but I'm supportive of this, and I don't want people to think that the council was holding back and not approving something that we could have approved today. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Next item.
Item number 3, appoint complaint clerk.
Motion to send to civil service items 3 and 4.
Second by Councilmember Bowman.
Item number 5, certificate of determination, sale, and issuance of 26 million general improvement serial bonds for 2023.
Motion to receive and file.
Second by Councilmember Noakowski.
Item number 6, Moody's Investment Services City of Buffalo Bond Rating Report.
Motion to send finance items 6 and 7.
Second by Councilmember Wyatt.
Item number 8, appoint executive secretary to controller.
Motion to send to civil service.
Second by Councilmember Farrelletto.
Item number 9, permission to enter into intergovernmental agreement with New York State.
Motion to approve
Second by
items.
Councilmember, I'm sorry.
Motion to approve items 9 through 19.
Got to say them quick, you know, I'll get a second. Second by Councilmember Golombek.
Item number 20, notice of appointment heavy equipment operator.
Motion to send to civil service items 20 and 22.
Second by Councilmember Farrelletto.
Item number 23, auction of or scrap of vehicles.
Motion to approve.
Second by President Pro Tem Scale.
Item number 24,
You said 22. That includes 21. Next item.
item number 24, appoint senior resilience grants manager.
Motion to send to civil service.
Second by Councilmember Bowman.
Item number 25, parking department obtain and tow vehicles.
Motion to approve.
Second by President Pro Tem Scanlon.
Item number 26, emergency extension for IO Solutions.
Motion to send to finance items 26 and 27.
Second by Councilmember Golombek.
Item number 28, leave of absence.
Motion to receive and file items 28 through 31.
Second by Councilmember Wyatt.
Item number 32, notice of appointment for truck driver.
Motion to send to civil service item 32 and 33.
Second by Councilmember Bowman.
Item number 34, Buffalo Municipal Water Finance Authority.
Motion to receive and file.
Second by Councilmember Golombek.
Item number 35, letter of opposition for special use permit for 397 Jefferson.
Motion to send legislation.
Second by Councilmember Wyatt.
Item number 36, systematic equality issues in Buffalo City Schools.
Motion to send to the Education Committee.
Second by Councilmember Bowman.
Item number 37, concerns regarding Allen Street Capital Improvement Project and Buffalo Arts Commission.
Motion to send CD items 37 and 38.
Second by Councilmember Noakowski.
Item number 39, support New York State surplus fund return requirement.
Motion to send to Finance.
Second by Councilmember Farrelletto.
Item number 40, letters of support for Jackrabbit.
Motion to send to Legislation.
Second by Councilmember Noakowski.
Petitions, item number 41, zoning map amendment, 18 Adams.
Motion to send to Legislation City Planning Board items 41 through 47.
Second by Councilmember Wyatt.
Submission list, civil service, item number 1, appoint assessor.
Motion is to receive and file items 1 through and including 3.
Second by Majority Leader Rivera.
Finance, item number 4, letter to administration about local 264 retiree retro.
Motion to receive and file items number 4 and 5.
Second by Councilmember Farrelletto.
Item number 6, budget and personnel amendment.
Motion to approve items 6 and 7.
Second by Councilmember Gullumbeck.
Community development, item number 8, Shays Board of Trustees, response regarding 23-266.
The community development.
Councilmember
Gullumbeck.
Motion to receive and file.
Motion is to receive and file.
Second by Councilmember Noakowski.
Legislation, item number 9, food store license, 1370, AKA 1372 Fillmore.
Motion to recommit.
Second by Councilmember Gullumbeck.
Item number 10, new secondhand dealer, 45 Allen, AKA 497 Franklin.
Motion to approve.
Second by Councilmember Noakowski.
Item number 11, used car dealer.
Motion to recommit items 11 and 12.
Second by President Pro Tem Scanlon.
Item number 13, special use, 1409 South Park.
Motion to approve 13 and 14.
Second by Councilmember Scanlon.
Item number 15, zoning map amendment.
Motion to receive and file.
Second by Councilmember Gullumbeck, who has the floor.
Once again, just an update on this. There are 2 projects on Howell Street. There is a project at 1 Howell, and then this was a secondary proposal at 18 Howell. I believe it was for 7 townhouse-type developments. This is the townhouses. This is being removed from the table at the request of the developer, Savarino. 1 Howell is the apartment complex, I think 50 units, I forget the exact number. That is still on the table. This is a separate one. I just don't want people in the neighborhood to confuse the two proposals.
You got it. Thank you, sir, for the clarification.
Item number 16, special use, 18 Union Place for now owner occupied.
Motion to approve items 16 and 17.
Second by the Majority Leader Rivera.
Item number 18, co-mingling event for permit 69 West Chippewa.
There is a motion to approve 18 and 19 with conditions that Council President Pridgeon will discuss.
Well, first of all, this is the commingling permit. We did have a meeting today with representatives from the Chippewa Alliance, from the bars and restaurants, from attorneys who were in a meeting today. I just want to say this about this because I think we have to make this very plain. The only area in the city of Buffalo where an entertainment venue has to apply to the council to have a commingling event is in the entertainment district. Nowhere else. Some people were calling for get rid of the ordinance, and so I presented that today in the meeting to get rid of the ordinance. What that would mean is nobody on Chippewa would have to apply to have commingling. Councilman Noakowski and I were just discussing this, which right now across the city, Chippewa is not the only place having commingling. Other venues are because they don't have to apply, so we don't know about them. So it was pretty unanimous in that room today not to get rid of this ordinance, however, to monitor it. And working together, we came up with the following dates for item number 18, 4/20/23 and 4/27/23. And for item 19, 4/21/23 and 4/28/23. That way the police can be notified, our city is notified, and then we'll come back to the table with all of the stakeholders to look at how we move forward. So I do want to thank all of those who attended the meeting today, and it was a good meeting to understand that without the commingling ordinance there, they could just do whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted, and we would have no notification. So thank you all. So that would be to approve as amended for those 2 dates that were just put on the record. Second by Councilmember Nowakowski. Next slide.
Resolutions, item number 48, ordinance amendment, chapter 132, tobacco, hookah, and vape.
Motion to send to legislation.
Second by Councilmember Bowman.
Item number 49, Commissioner D's public duties.
Motion to adopt.
Second by Councilmember Nowakowski.
Item number 50, resolution for 66th Annual Allentown Art Festival.
Motion to approve items 50 and 51.
Second by Councilmember.
Mr. President, I object actually to item number 52.
Oh, and 52?
I object to item 52 as a late file.
Oh, okay, that's fine. You're not objecting to the late file?
I'm objecting to the late file, yes.
Okay. All righty. We asked it at the beginning, but can we come back to, oh, that's part of your approval?
That's why I objected, because it said
You
51
had-
and 52.
Okay.
He said 50.
No,
He said 50 and 51.
50 and 51
Okay.
All right.
is approved.
All right. Second by Councilmember Wyatt. Did you want to discuss 52?
I'm objecting to it.
Okay, so are you voting no, or are you trying to throw the item out?
I'm objecting to the item coming in front of us as a late
Okay.
file.
So there is an objection to the late file, and there's no discussion, so that file is taken off of the table. Next item.
Item number 54, excuse Councilmember Wingo from April 18th.
Did we do 53?
Yes, that was the one
Okay.
we took out of order.
All right. 54?
Did you call 54? Motion is to adopt.
Yes. Second by Councilmember Bowman.
Item number 55, ordinance amendment, chapter 194, food stores.
Motion to send to legislation.
Second by Councilmember Farrelletto.
Item number 56, fee waiver for Eat in the Park.
Motion to approve items 56 and 57.
Second by Councilmember Nowakowski.
Item number 58, identifying a location for a new DPW facility that best suits the needs of the city.
Motion to adopt.
Second by Councilmember Farrelletto.
Can we adopt and leave the rest in community development?
So you want to adopt the resolves and the remainder?
Yes, thank you.
All right, as amended, second by Councilmember Wyatt. Any revisits? Hearing none? All righty.
Mr. Chair, I have that question. I just want to be clear on the late files. I thought at the beginning, if there was an objection, you objected, but I'm just trying to make sure of the clarity, because I didn't think that if you didn't object in the beginning, I thought that we could move forward.
Well, the statement is there any objections to late files? And when there is none, we say that we will hear the entire agenda.
Right, so I'm confused. I'm just getting clarity on that, because all this time I thought that if we didn't object in the very beginning, that everything was okay. We could move forward with the full agenda.
Corporation Counsel is looking it up, but generally in the past, each late file was considered at the moment that it came before. I brought them all in the beginning, so we have always objected to the late files in the beginning. There was no objection to the late file in the beginning, so we were hearing the entire agenda. And that was the question to the council member: are you objecting to the item, or are you objecting to the late file?
Because I know we had a conversation about late files before, and I'm just trying to make sure we have clarity on what this is, because if you say that if there's no objection in the beginning, then we can hear the entire agenda. But in the past, when you have objected, you objected right when you said that I object to the late files, and then that was it.
All right, just let me talk to Corporation Counsel. So I'm going to let Corporation Counsel opine on that. It generally seems as if her opinion is toward yours, is that if you object to late files when it's asked, you have to object to late files then, but I'll let her speak to it on the record. If not, then we'll have to revisit the item. Then, council member, you could either refute the ruling or just object to the item, or vote in the negative for the item.
Gordon, in the past, my position has been that the late file has to come in the beginning, that once the late file is presented to the Common Council, any one person that objects to it is sufficient to remove it from the agenda. I know the question was asked in the beginning, and I'm not sure if there was an objection to it in the beginning, but that has been our standard. I am just looking into the rules to see if it's in the rules. I know it should be, but I haven't been able to pull it up. But generally, that has been our standing. You objected once it's called. Any objections to the late file, and if there are objections, the late file is not before us.
Councilmember Golombek.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President. My understanding in the past was that, and I remember, I don't want to misquote you, but I believe that you used to say that this does not stop us from
Pausing the meeting to review.
Yes, and so my understanding was that as long as we objected before the actual vote on the item, that it would remove the late file from the table and go in front of us in 2 weeks. And that is my understanding, and that's my contention. If I would have thought that I was wrong, I would have objected at the very start of the meeting. But I thought that as long as I objected beforehand, and I do think that I am correct on this.
Yeah, the statement is, and that's the reason I have it written, so I'll make sure that we will hear all of the items that are before us. By doing what you just did, it would then stop us from hearing all of the items that are before us. And so the statement is, are there any objections to the late files? And there's a pause. And if there are no objections, it does not take away your right to pause the meeting to review an item, not to take an item off the table. So hearing Corporation Counsel's answer, hearing the question on the floor, hearing the response, I do believe that this chair will make a decision to revisit that item, and then that item can be discussed and then voted either up or down. Councilmember, I'm going to reopen the item and then we'll get to the item.
Item number 52, appointments to the City of Buffalo Citizen Salary Review Commission.
All right, the item is before us. Councilmember White.
So, Mr. President, I just wanted to be clear again. If you object to this one late file, didn't we have to object to the other late files because they were all kind of together?
You could object to an individual late file. We have in the past where somebody said, I object to item number 52 or item number 53. Yeah, it has happened in the past. All right, this item is before us. Is there any?
Chairman, motion was to adopt.
All right, the motion is to adopt. Councilmember Golombek has the floor.
Thank you. I'm going to be in the negative on this, for numerous reasons. I am going to ask for Cadet Chambers to look into this as well, because I'm just very uncomfortable with this being in front of us. I'm anticipating, from everything that I've heard in the building, that with the budget this year, that there's going to be a tax increase. I'm understanding that and most of you were not here when New York State was in horrible shape, when it would be 30, 60, 90, 100 days late with the budget. I don't think that we're going to know during the month of May what kind of financing that we're going to get from New York State, because they're anticipating that the budget may not be approved until well into the month of May, possibly even into the month of June. I know that we just had pay increases 4 years ago after a 20-year or so lag time. So I'm vehemently opposed to this. I think that it is not something that should be put in front of us at this point. I think it's something that we should, if anything, we should have sent to committee first. I know that some of my colleagues sometimes get upset when there's late files that come in front of us. This is one that I think is super important because it's voting on something that we control. It raises potentially for ourselves. So I am in the negative, and I am going to move forward to have Ms. Chambers check to see if this should even be in front of us or not, based on my past understanding and council actions in the past.
That's not a problem. Councilmember Fairlettle.
Thank you. I just think it's important, in the city charter, it says that this commission convenes every 2 years. They haven't met in 5 years. Before that, it was 18 years. And I think it's important that they meet on a regular basis per the charter. And this action here is appointing or reappointing members to look at that. This board hasn't met. They haven't made decisions. I think it's important for them to serve the function as required by the city charter. Thank you.
Thank you. And this board does not mean that there are raises. It means there's a review. It's supposed to be done every 2 years. We're pulling it up in the charter every 2 years, and it customarily happens before the budget. So that's why it's just following the charter. Councilman Nowakowski.
Mr. Chair, I think that I'm not going to, I don't have a specific opinion on this immediately. I just have the opinion of our rules of this chamber being properly enforced, so I don't think that we should adjourn the meeting until we have Corporation Counsel opine before we conclude this meeting.
Yeah, we have to adjourn the meeting, but what we will do is if then Corporation Counsel comes back with a different ruling, then this item would be moot. Yep. Correct. Now, we can pause for a few minutes. She'll take a look, but other than that, you know, we follow the procedures, but it might take Corporation Counsel 2 days, so I don't think we want to camp out here for 2 days.
Yeah, I just, Mr. Chair, if I could be recognized, I just,
Sure.
you know, oftentimes, you know, with the Common Council, we get all these conflicting opinions, and we still are a governing body, so I just want to minimize any conjecture and have, you know, have facts.
Yeah.
To make sure
If we can't get it in the next few minutes, if Corporation Counsel then opines and feels that the objections after it has been offered to object is correct, then we've made a move. If Corporation Counsel comes back and says, no, we feel it should be such, then if we have to have a special meeting or whatever in order to, if there's that desire, then, I mean, it'll be rectified based on the majority of the council in which direction you all want to go in. So, one way or another.
Do you want to hold it in abeyance until?
She's just looking right now, and then if not, we're going to dismiss, and then dismiss. We will, I'm talking different talk here. We will adjourn and then come back. I'm sorry, here, let me give you.
Yes, I'm going to look into the council's rule because that's where it is as it relates to late files. So I'll look into the council rules right now. If I don't find it right now, I'll definitely find it by the end of the meeting, and I could always send it, well, you know, and I could send it to you. Okay?
All right. Let's do announcements, and then that way, so we're not adjourned yet. We'll make sure we get a ruling.
Announcement of committee meetings. Regular committees. Committee on Civil Services, Tuesday, April 25th, 2023 at 9:45 a.m. Committee on Finance, following Civil Services, Tuesday, April 25th, 2023 at 10 a.m. Committee on Community Development is Tuesday, April 25th, 2023 at 1 p.m. And Committee on Legislation is Tuesday, April 25th, 2023 at 2 p.m.
All right. Council members, we are still in session, but are there any meetings for any announcements? Nobody has anything? Now today, nobody has. President Pro Tem.
Thank you, Council President. This isn't one of your typical announcements, but I'm just asked that maybe you all just indulge me for just one moment. Earlier in memoriams, I referenced the loss of another son, brother, friend, and police officer at far too young an age. In the last 26 months, 4 Buffalo police officers in their 30s, one who was 40 years of age, have all lost their lives that live in the 14220 zip code. I've been to these chambers several times in the past, referencing mental health issues. I've had conversations with department heads and people within the administration, but the time for conversation's over. I'm begging the rest of you for your help. I'm one council member. As we all know, none of us has the authority to do anything unilaterally. I need your help, and things need to change. I'm not going to vote for a budget that does not address this issue in one way or another, either with a direct allocation or the use of some other funds from some other source to address this underlying mental health issues and all the accompanying issues that come with it. I cannot keep doing this. These are my friends that are dying. These are people's kids and siblings from my neighborhood who are dying. So, again, I just ask you for your help moving forward during budget deliberations and as we discuss some other funding throughout the year. And I'll be circling around with all of you with some initial ideas that I have.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for your compassion. Yeah. So what we're going to do is, just what I said, so we will adjourn the meeting. If the ruling is different than what we have given here today, we'll figure out the next steps. And if it isn't, then it moves forward. Okay? All right. We've heard all the announcements. Good.
I need a second on the item, sorry. On number 52, the last one, just a second.
Oh, I thought you meant you need a second to opine too. Second by council member, was it second by council member Wyatt? All right. I think we've had a lot of deliberations today, but good business. All right. Motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second by council member Joseph Golombek Jr.